side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
This is the whole point about us being out here. It is not the salary. It is actually the fact that we don't have enough staff. We have nurses who work 8, 12, 16 hours without a break. We have patients waiting on the hallways in triage for between 2, 4, 8 hours. And why? Because we don't have enough nurses. Sometimes they're waiting for nurses, for rooms. You know, that is the reason why we are here. So Sutter wants to distract the community by saying that it is the pay that we're asking for. That is not the point. Be real, Sutter, and get nurses at the bedside if it is true that you care for patients.
And what do they say the reason is? I'm with Steve Zeltzer, I'm with Workweek Radio, KPFA Pacifica, KPFK in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So why don't you introduce yourself?
Say that again?
What's your name?
Carolina Ramirez. I work in labor and delivery for 25 years.
So the hospital says that they can't get nurses. Is that true?
I would say that they're letting nurses go. They are nurses, but they're all going to different hospitals that are getting better salary, they're getting more flexible hours. That's where they're going. And they have let them go. We are training them and they're letting it go.
And also this hospital may be threatened with shutdown if they can't staff it. What does it mean to patients at Sutter who pay to insurance to get proper care, that they're not getting it because they're paying a lot of money to go to?
I think that's where, you know, we need to be asking Sutter.
So do you think the members of Sutter should be contacting them?
Absolutely. If we're gonna get good reporting, start asking. You just need to ask the records for Sutter. How many nurses are there not taking the breaks? You know, how much are they paying for nurses? Or actually, let me put it this way. Sutter is breaking the law. Workers are not getting breaks. Okay,
And you know, the thing is, there is a law, the union, and there's a state law that says you have to have breaks. Why aren't the laws being enforced?
That's just the simple fact about it. We don't have staff, so we have to work through our breaks.
Wouldn't the states say to Sutter, you have to have staff, otherwise you can't operate?
Yeah, but they're breaking the law. Like Carolina said, they're just blatantly breaking the law every day, almost every day that we're at work. We're working with, we're down 4 or 5 nurses every day, every shift, night shift and PM shift, even worse. It's horrible working conditions. And the reason we can't retain nurses is because we get paid so much less than other Bay Area hospitals. So we train new nurses, they invest lots of money in training them, and then they leave, which I don't blame them. I mean, it's crappy conditions and you're getting paid less. You go somewhere else and get paid more and get your break.
Is this your first strike?
No, I've been a L&D nurse for 16 years. I can't remember how many strikes. It's been a lot. It's been a lot, but I've never seen it this bad with our staffing. It's really, and then such a slap in the face that we have worked all through COVID, and you know, this is the thanks we get.
Frontline workers, weren't they supposed to be taking care of the frontline workers?
Yeah, it's all lip service. There's no action behind that sentiment.
I think the Sutter executives are really going to change. I mean, it sounds like it's all about making money, profit.
You're getting paid over, you know, between $2 and $4 at least $1 million. What would you change?
Yeah, they don't. All they care about is the bottom line. That's all they care about. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. It's sad for us and it's sad for our patients, and that's why we're here.
I mean, do you think there needs to be a national movement of all healthcare workers too?
Absolutely. After what we've been through, we're done. We're fed up. We're done.
You've had enough.
We've had enough. They've crossed a line. COVID put us over the line, and we need the respect. That everyone talks a good game, like, oh yeah, you should care about nurses in your community and blah blah blah, but I don't see that being backed up by actual real life things that matter to us. And staffing is our #1 concern. Alexis.
I want to thank everyone for being here. Today is our rally. We have a lot of people from other unions here. I'm going to kick the mic over to Eric here pretty soon, but I do want to say a few words here. And one of the things is this has been an amazing strike. This is a 9-day strike over the holidays. I think it's not just that we're ending strong. This is probably the biggest showing we've got. For those of you that were here yesterday, when we say rain or shine, that was literally no joke. That wasn't a light drizzle. That was, I think, what they call an atmospheric river. And a lot of you were here and here to the very end. I think we lost 2 canopies along the way, and I don't know how many, maybe 50, 60 picket signs just got turned to mush, and you guys were all here, and really appreciate that. And I just want to call out one more thing. I mean, we're striking through these 2 holidays. Maybe the first time a lot of people would have Christmas and New Year's off in the same year since you started your careers as nurses. But instead, you guys chose to be out here, and not just rain or shine, during some pretty serious conditions. So just personally, I want to thank you guys. I want to say it's an honor fighting alongside with you folks. We still have a fight ahead, but this kind of unity, this kind of support, we're going to get this thing.
So we have a few unions here with us today supporting us, and labor organizers here with us. So first, as she's making her way over here, is Judy Greenspan. She's a chair of the OEA. I think you've seen her pretty much every day that we've been here. She's a chair of the OEA Substitute Caucus, so I'd like to give the mic to Judy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric. Yes, as Eric said, I'm a rep with the Oakland Education Association and also chair of the Substitute Teacher Caucus, which has been a very important grouping because of the COVID pandemic. A lot of us came back to work, are working in the schools under really horrendous conditions. Some of the conditions that we share with you. And this has been for me a really personally and politically a wonderful experience. I can't think of a better way to have spent my holiday vacation than to have supported the nurses at Alta Bates, my community hospital, where my daughters were born, where I have gone for some emergency procedures. And I feel a real affinity as a teacher, and all of us here. I have several of my comrades here from the Oakland Education Association. We really feel like we are in it together with you, that we are all frontline workers. We have all been mistreated. We have all been given large caseloads. We're the last considered. We're suffering the same burden of privatization. They're taking all of our public schools, all of our public hospitals. They're trying to privatize them and make them hospitals for the rich. So we're in this together. We really appreciate the rank and file effort because this is what we're going through. We're going into bargaining this year, and we know that the only way we will win a contract is through the organizing of the rank and file union. It is not going to be the leadership. The leadership is going to have to be pushed, just like you're pushing, and we support you as you move forward. And as we say in our union, when we fight, we win. Say it with me.
Cool, and I'm the treasurer of the California Nurses Association and secretary-treasurer of National Nurses United. And I'm the first vice president of the Alameda Labor Council, which supports this strike, has sanctioned it. Thank you for this. Thank you for what you're doing. We know what this is about. This is about patient care. That's what we always do as nurses. We want to give the best possible patient care. And without the decent working conditions provided by with the deplorable working conditions that we've all been working under for the last several years, we have had the hardest time to provide the best patient care. Patients have suffered. You have suffered. And what you're doing here today is standing up for all nurses across this country, for all patients across this country, for healthcare justice. It's incredibly important what you're doing, and we can only thank you. We can only thank you for helping us move this forward. And without the respect that Sutter should be showing you, Without them giving you a contract that will help recruit and retain nurses, you will never be able to provide patient care. So shame on you, Sutter, and provide us with decent working conditions so we can give the care we were made to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Martha. Let's give Martha a round of applause there. Now, the next person I'd like to introduce is John Holmes. He's a representative of the Peralta Federation of Teachers, and he's on the executive committee of the PFT. Let's give it up for John.
Hello, thank you. What is the PFT? It's the Peralta Federation of Teachers, the instructors at the community colleges. I occasionally teach history at Barrett College, the proud home of the Black Panther Party. And it's the favorite college for me to teach at ever when I get to. I don't get to very often, even though I'm the executive committee of the union representing us Freeway Flyers, due to what's been going on with the community colleges in the last few years. They've been turned into ghost towns. The enrollment has gone way the hell down, and not just because of the pandemic. It's because of conscious policy coming from the top, all the way from the governor, Newsom, and originally started by, he's the protege of Jerry Brown. Anyway, I'm wearing this jacket because before my trade got automated out of existence, I was a printer for a quarter of a century at various different newspapers before that got automated out, and an activist in the union. So what I want to say is all of us unionists need to stick together, and we need to support each other, and we need to come out for each other's struggles, and we need to be able to when we go on strike, we need to be able to shut down whatever we're striking against. Whether it's Alta Bates or whether it's Merritt College. That's the way to win, and that's the tradition of the American labor movement, which too many of the labor leaders have forgotten about. And why is that? Because they're hand in glove with the Democratic Party. Here we are in California, the bluest of all blue states, and we're in a state where in education, they still spend more money on prisons than they do on education. You know? We're in a country which lives under a system in which nothing really gets produced unless somebody makes a buck off of it. And social services, public services, always get the bad end of the stick. And at Merritt College, Laney College, where you've got SFCC on the other side of the bay, because that's where black people, poor people, working class people go. They don't get the funds, whereas the fancy colleges out in the suburbs, say on the wrong side of the Cott Tunnel, get plenty of funding. And that's not accidental. So the main thing I want to say, I didn't really come here with a prepared speech. The main thing I want to say is that the reason that the problem with the labor movement that we're all aware of, that you nurses are particularly well aware of from what I hear, is exactly that for the last half century, the labor leaders have thought that the future was to tie themselves to the Democratic Party. And we can see here in California, where the Democrats have complete control of everything, especially here in the Bay Area, just how utterly useless that is for the labor movement. Ultimately, we need to get rid of a social system in which no one produces anything of importance unless a buck is made of. Let me say quite frankly that what we need is socialism. And that's what the labor movement, that's the historic mission of the labor movement, is to bring socialism to this country and the world. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I want you guys to know, if you haven't been paying attention, all these other unions have been here with us through the horrible weather we've had on this strike, and they've been supporting us. And in the future, we need to think about when they need our help, we need to be out on the line with them. And that's something that's very important if we're going to move forward. So I think the big thing we need to know, do I really need to introduce this next person? I mean, she's known as the troublemaker. She's a Norwegian terror of trouble here for us. I mean, she got a whole string of messages written about her. She was the only one that misbehaved at the rally the other day. So let's give a big shout out to Toll Doll of Labor Delivery.
Everybody, Happy New Year. I'm a troublemaker, and I take that title as a badge of honor. I think never a problem to be a good troublemaker. And as far as I'm concerned, we're all getting in good trouble. And when you're getting in good trouble, you're getting in trouble for the right reasons. So having spent the last 8 days on the picket line, getting soaked to the bone, I've thought a lot about what this is about. We know it's about trying to get a decent contract. We need to stop the ongoing hemorrhage of nurses. We hire nurses, we train them, and then they leave. So clearly we have to have the contract that can stop that. And at a time when there are probably more nurses leaving the hospital day in and day out than there are nurses coming in. I feel like this is a super important fight. For me, it's a fight more than anything for nurses who are new to the profession and nurses who have not yet entered the profession. So when I look around and I see all the new grads, the recently hired nurses, that not only did they not cross the picket line, but they have been here, rain or shine, every day, holding up their signs. And there's a reason for that. I think that they get the message that we are never going to agree to a two-tiered pension plan. I don't feel good about having a pension if the young nurses who are coming in behind me don't have access to the same pension plan. I also don't feel good about nurses who had to train during the pandemic when they hardly got to even touch patients. If they can't have the support that they need on the job after the training program is completed, we have failed them. And so what the bargaining team is working on is they are working on standing up for nurses, and it's a matter of respect. When David Clark, the CEO, was walking around asking nurses why we wouldn't settle for the CPMC contract, asking nurses what it would take. That's called direct dealing, and that ain't right. We have a union, we have nurses on the bargaining team that have been fighting our fight, and it's been an uphill battle, and it is time for us to have the kind of union where it's the staff nurses that make the decisions about what our priorities are. It has to come from the staff nurse, not from the top, whether that be the top of the union or the top of Sutter. So when David Clark asks nurses, or tells nurses, if you don't like it, you can go to Kaiser. Well, David Clark, if you don't like the nurses here so much, why don't you go to Kaiser or some other place?
So next I'd like to introduce, you haven't seen her here at this line because she's been at the Herrick line. Donna Woodruff is on the nurse negotiating team here with us. And of course, as you know, please don't bother her afterwards for any psych diagnoses that you may be curious about. She's a little tired of that. So I'd like to if you could give a good round of applause for Donna.
Hello everyone, Happy New Year. My name is Donna, like Eric said, and I am the nurse negotiator for the 140 union nurses at Herrick. And I want you guys to know that we stand strong with everybody here. And you know, I want Sutter to know that when we wrap up here today, that the bargaining team is ready anytime Sutter wants to come to the table and bargain with us. So, and I just want to say one more thing. You know, not all superheroes wear capes. Some of them just walk the picket line. I want to thank you very much for you guys suiting up and showing up. It means everything. Thank you.
Math educator, and he's also a labor troubadour, and he's going to sing a wonderful song. I'd like you guys to give a good listen to. Thank you.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. What a great way to start out 2023. What do you say? Huh? Wow. So I just want to say about this two-tiered thing, it's nothing new. The actuarials have been doing this for years. Gee, we're not going to be able to make our super profits enough, you know, so you're fighting the right fight. And let's also hear it for safe staffing and efficient staffing. Yes. Are you kidding me? Yes. You know, at least California has some rules. Around in all the red states around the United States, nurses are getting slammed. So particularly during this peak of COVID that just came up. So it's out there. Anyway, so all right, well this is to the song, Which Side Are You On? I would say so. So let's try this. Which side are you on? 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 Good, all right. For more than half a century, our veteran nurses have been good to heal the sick back to health in this neighborhood. But these days we have a crisis. Managed care ain't coming through for the very folks it once served. So what are advocates to do? Which side are you on? 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 How do we get Sacramento and SF survivors, supervisors too, to pay attention to this crisis? We advocates know what to do. Let's stop privatizing public services and two-tiered pension tooling, dividing us nurses against ourselves. Who do they think they're fooling? Which side are we on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Oh, which side are you on? Nursing vets love our younger sisters whose lives who live their lives with belief that the prior generation cares for them to give them just relief. Who's suffering from the difference? Sutter and Kaiser pay? Who's tracking safer staffing ratios? What does the union management say? Which side you're on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? If Sutter and Kaiser and Blue Cross were parts of Medicare for all the issues that we're fighting for would be state and federal law. So how do we get Sacramento politicians to pay attention? We got to use our voices here and now and get some real intervention. Which side are you on? 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 Our nurses union must fight for us, cause we know what to do. Just like what NUHW did to SEIU, we can decertify you. Oh, are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Louder today. Which side are you on? 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 Happy New Year, everybody. Let's really rock it.
Brothers and sisters, it is amazing to see all of you here. And I have to say, we must continue to stand shoulder to shoulder. Bargaining for 18 months is absolutely nonsense. It is all about greed, maltreatment, and we're not having it. We have proved this by standing here, sun or rain. I sent a picture yesterday to a family member. I said, oh my goodness, you guys are there out there and it's raining. I said, yes, that is patient care and advocacy. We are brave and we can stand tall even when some of us are short. We can still stand really tall. And what we are doing right now, we are brave, and what we are doing right now is like, I read somewhere where it says, planting a tree
that you may never sit and enjoy the shade. That is what we're doing right now. We're doing things that will benefit the new nurses that come in, are going to nursing school. We may never meet them, but we are still planting the tree that we will never sit under the shade. That's advocacy and selflessness. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jamila. We do have quite a few trees here. So next I'd like to introduce Ann Stewart. She is the Sutter Acute Care Division Director. Ann, please.
Thank you, Eric. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, nurses, supporters, community allies. Happy New Year to everyone. And here we are yet again, fighting Sutter day by day out on these picket lines. Many of us who've been here for years know that we're no stranger to being on the picket lines here. But one thing that we all know is when we stand together, unity and solidarity is what gets the goods. It's going to get us a contract. So let's go into this new year. Let's get a strong, solid contract for everyone. Let's fight for what each and every nurse needs at the bedside every single day. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So next up, we have the man, the myth, the legend. George Clooney is joining us on the picket line.
All right, thank you very much. As you know, I was a body double for George Clooney in many of his movies before, so thank you. Appreciate that, thank you. And thank you again for being here all week. I'm sure right now many people are very nervous that I have a microphone and index cards. So we'll just set that aside. It's not going to be long. I just want to tell you guys it's been a joy and a pleasure to be with you at the picket for the past 9 days. And thank you for your support, because as you know, we would not be here. I don't know if Election Buddy would have came out in our favor if we hadn't had labor notes and you guys is pushing for us, okay? So that's very important. We're nothing without you, and we're trying to represent your voices. So we always say that management is the best organizer. In this case, those who lobbied for the last best and final really galvanized us. The horror of being told that this is the best interest of nurses, this last best and final, was frankly galling for each and every one of us, especially over those 6 Zoom meetings. Now, we want our voices heard. We've been in contact daily with writers of labor notes, and they are interested in how our struggle for democracy in our union turns out. I was told we are a democratic union. Well, democracies have voting, legitimate voting. We have elections coming up in CNA. Unfortunately, the forms to declare to run always come in that CNA magazine that seem to come after the expiration date to put in your name has come and gone. So we need representation. Nurses at many of these hospitals need better representation. We need our voices, voices that reflect real nursing values. Let's see if John and the other labor reps can roam our halls with ballots for us to represent ourselves in the board of directors. They say they want change and they're here behind us. Well, let's see if they really stand behind us. So I want you guys to remember this. Please email Bonnie, bcastillo@nationalnursesunited.org. I'll be here and available to give the email out. If she cares about democracy, I'm sure she's standing with us. If you want change, you have to be that change. We have to be that agents of that change we want to see. I'm pretty sure that without that push by the labor reps, many of us would not have been here. It was pretty shocking for us. We have to be what we want to be. We want this change. we came out here. And I hope it's the last time we're out here. It may not be the last time we're out here. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we'll get a better deal or if forces will unite against us again. I don't know. But I know I'm not going to stop fighting, and I know I'm not going to stop fighting for you. So let's remember, we are the union. Now let's run the union. Thank you. So I think the last person I need to introduce.
If you weren't here yesterday, you don't know that yesterday was Eric's birthday. But you know, I'm sort of a fan of birthday week.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eric. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. That's the most people we're going to ever sing happy birthday today in now 2 straight days. Thank you so much. 2 straight days. Thank you. So I think I don't really need to introduce the last person here. I think we all know her. She has a fiery Irish temper here, and she's willing to fight for us at every turn. Do you guys all know Ann Gabler of the NICU? Nurse negotiator extraordinaire. Let's give it up for Ann Gabler.
Thank you. You know, this is not the first time we've been here. Or the second. Or the second. Or the 13th. But here we are again. And the thing that I want to talk about is the magic that you guys are. You know, I got into this a long time ago. One of the nurses in the NICU was on the bargaining team, and she got an informatics degree, and so she stepped away from the bedside, and she wasn't a member of the union anymore, and she couldn't be on the team because of that. She was great, but she had to step away. And so she said, Ann, I think that you would be really good at this. Could you do it? And I said, yeah, well, what does it take? She says, oh, you just have to go to negotiations and maybe a meeting or two a month. So I talked to my husband and talked to my family, and they were like, yeah, you can handle that, you should do that, you should go, right? And so we've been at it, and we've been working really hard, and we've gotten some good contracts, and we've gotten some not such great contracts, but what we have is what we have, and it's what we're working for here. And here we are again in a situation where we're fighting for what we believe we need. That's the bottom line. And how do we know that? We know that because you talk to us. And you say, this is what's happening on my unit. Now, I work in the NICU, which is a relatively sheltered environment. But I hear from all of you. I hear from the folks in the ER. I see you over there. I hear from labor and delivery, which is a very local group. I hear from Eric about what it's like to work the night shift when he's the only nurse who's been working for longer than 6 months. That scares the pants off of me to hear that kind of thing. And I'm grateful to these people who are such fabulous nurses because I know them and I know you, and I know that you are doing everything you can to keep the patients safe and to train the new nurses, and it's still not enough. So here we are again stating our story, and it's all because of the magic of you. The silver lining of this whole situation is how we as nurses have come together to fight for what we believe is right. Look at how many people are out here. Look at how many people have been out here every day in the pouring rain yesterday. I can't make that happen. You guys are who makes that happen, and we are so grateful. This nurse negotiating team and the folks who are over at Summit having their own rally right now, we are so grateful for the energy and the power that you are bringing. This here, this is nurse power. So I'm with Eric. We're going to go back to the table. We are ready. We told, when we left the table on the 16th, we said, we're available to bargain anytime. And they said, we'll see you after the new year. Well, It's after the new year, and we're still available anytime. We are ready to sit down. We are ready to hammer out an agreement that we feel that we can bring back to you in confidence that represents what you need to take care of your patients and to take care of yourselves. So let's keep it going. Let's stay together. Let's stay strong, because who are we? We are the nurses, the mighty, mighty nurses.
All right, so this is coming to conclusion. I want you guys to know that, of course, tomorrow, if you're working, the strike ends at 07 January 2nd. That's tomorrow. We are going to meet those of you that are working day shift tomorrow. You'll look for Ann.
I'll be there.
We're going to be at the corner over there, right by the garages, you know, where we used to vote in person. We're going to be right there, and we'll march into the hospital together. All right?
Marching together.
So, if you're, about 6:45, no reason for us to, stay longer than that. Just get there at 6:45, and we'll be ready to march into the hospital. I guarantee you they haven't fixed the elevators, so it's going to be a while for us to probably get back up into the units, but, that'll be what it is. But we'll be ready at 6:45. We'll be gathering, and we'll get into that hospital at 6:59, hopefully. Huddle outside the garage. Look for Ann. Look for the leprechauns. All right? So once again, thank you guys for being here.
When we fight, we win.